Welcome to the Halo Outreach Podcast, where we reach out to you, the Halo community, to keep you up to date on everything that's going on in the Halo universe.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 44 of the Halo Outreach Podcast. We've been away for a bit, but we wanted to make sure when we do make a video that it's going to stay relevant for more than 2 days. Because it seemed like our schedule was lined up to where it'd be like we'd make a podcast like literally like the day before or something like that,
Right.
like the Halo Infinite reveal, and we once that comes out, everyone's gonna want to be talking about Infinite, so we didn't want to make like a video of it, a podcast would be like irrelevant within like 2 days, So
that and being overshadowed by Halo 3's release too on PC. It's been crazy for the last couple weeks.
Yeah, and so we figured it was probably a good time to take a little bit of a break, collect ourselves. We took a week off, and now we're back for some Halo awesomeness. So in this episode, we're gonna be talking about, obviously, Halo Infinite, the gameplay demo reveal and trailer, some of the controversies that have come from it as well, and also we're gonna be talking about split screen coming to Infinite. There's some misinformation on that. We want to set the record straight on that. We had some straight from the horse's mouth, the Infinite 343 news on that one. The different platforms that Infinite's going to be on, including some ones you might be a little surprised about. And also, possibly no Xbox Live subscriptions. And we also have exclusive content that no one else could find on Twitter.
World premiere
Of the first ever screenshot of Halo ever. Confirmed from the people who took the screenshot themselves. So, we got a pretty jam-packed episode. I mean, hell, we could probably talk about the gameplay reveal forever, but we gotta be courteous. We gotta understand, we gotta be, we're people, and so we do have lives outside of Halo and gaming in general. So, Pat, how have you been the last week and a half since the last podcast? How's the weather?
Busy. Everything's weather's hot. It's very hot over here, but it's been a busy week as a Halo content creator.
Yes, it has.
We've both been ramping up just disgusting amount of content. So even though we've been away from the podcast, there has not been a lack of content from both of our channels.
No.
So go check us out. We're like in the full swing of things. The hype machine is a rolling. Can't wait to talk about some of the opinions because I haven't really talked about how I feel about the Halo Infinite reveal. So I've been saving myself for this podcast.
I've been saving myself for the podcast.
for you and the podcast, Kevin. So besides that, everything's been good. How about you? How is I just celebrated my 10-year anniversary with my wife too. So
congrats.
That happened. Thank you.
Is that 10 years together or 10 years married?
10 years together, 7 married.
Gotcha.
So, Yep. And
hey,
then
man, people struggle to make it past 1.
Yeah. I think we are both shocked we've been together 10 years already. Like
is it really been long?
Yeah. Halo Reach. Last time when we first met, that's like my little bookmark in life. Oh, Halo Reach.
Well, that's easier. That makes it easy to remember then. Yeah, started on a 10. That's easy to do math, and also just easy to remember when.
Exactly.
Well, that's awesome.
But what about you? What's been up with you this week?
Just grinding content, dude. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
That's Wednesday. I haven't gone on today, but today was the first day I only uploaded one video since Wednesday. I've been doing like 2 uploads a day since Wednesday. But it's been, the fiance is out seeing her mom. Her mom's in surgery, did a little surgery, so she wanted to be there for her. I couldn't exactly leave because I have to work from home. And so I was just here, so I got the chance to grind out some content. I was nervous as all hell that I wasn't going to be able to watch the stream for Infinite's reveal.
Oh, because Comcast.
Yeah, because Comcast was just like...
I was nervous too, dude.
Just like
I still have problems. Right now, I'm freaking having internet trouble.
Just like, it was like in the evenings, like I hit stream one night and it just like dropping frames like crazy. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And I looked at speed test, I'm getting like 25% the normal speed that I'm paying for. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So basically I had a Comcast guy come out, but luckily it was only happening peak hours in the evening. So I was still able to stream the reveal and just get insanely excited about it. And so that was okay. Now it was working just fine. I had a guy come out. Basically, he just took like, apparently it was like a splitter. He just went like I disconnected one, and then everything works.
Yeah, splitters, man. Those splitters are trouble, man.
So, but other than that, yeah, man, just like I'm just like sitting here thinking like, what's the next Halo Infinite video I can make? Because like there's so much to digest. We've spent so many years just like dissecting little tidbits of toys and just like rumors and like these little blog updates for MCC and stuff like that. Just like and trying to stretch it out to like 10-minute videos so you can get proper ad revenue and ad searches for for YouTube.
yeah, exactly.
And so to finally have like some just thick, meaty boy content of just straight gameplay of Halo Infinite, it's such relief. So much to look into. There's still so much that people are still learning about the reveal of Halo Infinite's gameplay, and so that's what I've been grinding out to. It's been nothing but Halo for me. Last couple days.
As a content creator, like it's just a godsend to have something else besides the Discover Hope and the Slip Space Engine trailer to play in the background of a video.
Oh
like,
god, yeah.
it's so nice, dude. Like we got 3 new trailers of gameplay of content basically to put in the background of some videos, So that's I'm very nice. Grateful for that. And bring on the multiplayer trailer, please. Bring it on. I need it. I need it. But let's get into the let's get into the gameplay reveal.
Let's get into that gameplay reveal on the podcast here. So obviously, Halo Infinite's gameplay reveal. I was a little excited about this. My reaction was basically a continual volume warning for headphone users. When I was watching, I was like, "Oh my god, this is it!" Yeah. So, Pat? What are your initial reactions to the gameplay demo reveal of Infinite?
All right, let's break it down real quick. All right, starting out, Chief is sexy. Chief looks so damn good in this game. Like. Yeah, you say what you want about these graphics, which we'll touch on, but Chief looks damn good in the game. In game, like Chief looks good.
Best Chief I think ever, actually.
Yeah,
I think this is the best Chief that's ever been made.
Yeah. Like it's really not close for me. Like it's then like Halo 2 and 3's Chief for me, but this Chief takes the cake. And then when Chief is coming out of the Pelican. And he's like, we'll search together. And I was like, all right, dude, this world is beautiful. When it just hits you, just like Halo CE, when you come out of the drop pod or the escape pod, you look out and you just see this beautiful ring world. It just hits you. And I really thought, I was like, oh my God, this game is gorgeous. And then as you progress through, it started to hit at me like, some of these textures look a little wonky. And honestly, there's like pop-ins and stuff in the distance. You can see fog, like pop-ins and mountains disappearing and popping in. It's an early build. Okay, we know that for a fact. And I guess we'll touch more on that. But overall, though, gameplay looks fun, like fun as hell. The grappling hook looks fun as hell. The interaction with the environment, the enemies look fun to fight. We still haven't seen no Prometheans, so. Who knows if they're even in the game, but Covenant is infinitely, no pun intended, more fun to fight than the Prometheans, in my opinion. We know that the enemies actually interact with the sandbox, so like we've never seen, where they throw grunts at you, and there's other things that haven't been shown.
Amazing! I love that.
Awesome. Yeah.
When I first saw that, I thought the grunt was just like hopped, and I'm like, I didn't know grunts could jump like that.
How the hell did he got hops like that?
Get this guy in the NBA, And then I realized,
speaking of NBA, can we talk about how lanky those jackals looked, dude? Like the jackal looked like a tall boy. He was like skinny and tall. I was like, put that boy in the NBA too while you're at it.
Well, I think they're like 6 feet tall or something. Jackals.
Yeah, they're pretty damn tall, but they never like. I guess without his shield, him just standing there like that, it looked crazy. And then like the guns look good, man. The guns looked fun. Like I said, the grapple and throwing fusion coils and stuff, and the music, man. The music hit me.
Yeah,
I was like grinning from ear to ear the whole time, and I remember the timestamp in the gameplay trailer. 5:35 is where I get goosebumps. And I've watched this trailer at least 30 times already. I literally watch it every day, multiple times a day. It's 5:35 when you hear a faint little like da 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 da.
Well, let's check this out right now. I'm actually watching the video right now. Let's go to rate to 5:34 just so you can hear it. Just
okay.
Right.
It's so good. It is so good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really cool play off of the main theme.
Of the main theme. It is so good.
Very well done.
And when he grapples up there and it's just you hear like the violin going in. I'm just like, yes, this is Halo, baby. Like, give me more of that soundtrack, man.
Yeah, that music right there was just like, let's get this done.
Exactly. It's the battle music. It's just like, all right, I am motivated to shoot some mother flipping aliens right now, dude. Like it's so good.
Which makes me think like it makes me wonder if like a mission gets activated once it gets to that point and everything prior to it was like open world or something, because generally with open worlds you have to hit like a trigger to activate like the mission sequences and stuff like that. And maybe like that's how like with the open world, like if you hit certain checkpoints and like certain kind of music start playing, and so then it kind of helps play a much more thematic part to the whole thing, which would make sense.
It could be like combat music. Whenever you're in combat, there could be some sort of music going on. Like you said, some certain triggers, like on the elevator scene, you hear the new, what I'm presuming it could be the main menu theme, because at the start of the demo, you heard the very same thing with the woman and the men monks like chanting and like the when you're going up the elevator there. So yeah, there could be certain triggers in the world. There's just so many cool things to go over, man. Like, so much attention to detail, like detail and lack of detail is like it's both, like it's a double-edged sword. Like Duquesne pointed out that the Warthog, its wheel got busted when driving the Warthog, and that when he splatters that, whoever's playing it, he or she splatters that grunt and it explodes because it was a suicide grunt. The wheel is on its rim, it explodes, the tire pops. So that's really cool. So like seeing that kind of damage to a vehicle when the brutes come down, a la dude, I got so many Cabal vibes from that one scene.
Right.
And he's like floating in the air with his jetpack, and you grapple to him and you go up to him. Like, I'm like, dude, and people think that's a bad thing. I love Destiny, and Destiny and Halo are forever synonymous with each other for me because the gunplay feels very similar. Gameplay is not similar, but gunplay feels similar. And dude, when he's shooting that brute that comes down, he shoots him in the leg. The brute like trips when you shoot him in the leg, and there's like just that it's kind of attention to details is so damn cool. And you see these armor pieces flying off and stuff, and I don't know, man. It just I was really hyped seeing the gameplay. The graphics, they'll get better, and I much rather the graphics be the way they were, Kev, than the other way around that most companies do it, where it's even Bungie was that way with Halo 2, where it just looked amazing, and then the final product looks nothing like that and gets that huge downgrade. I honestly believe we'll get an upgrade. Hopefully I'm right about that, because if I'm wrong, then yeah, consider me disappointed. But you'd be foolish to believe that the game's going to look that unfinished and have that many pop-ins and stuff in no, and it wasn't even running on a Series X, supposedly. Like, they've come out and said
it's on a PC that was supposed to emulate the experience of the Series X.
Emulate the experience, but it also is not like the hardware. There's something acceleration built into the Series X that's supposed to help with pop-ins and things like that. And there was a bunch of PC features turned off, like ambient occlusion, and the lighting was. There was no RTX. That's coming post-launch. 343 said in a free update. So all those features, it's going to get better, and it will look a hell of a lot better. And we saw that. We saw proof of that with the 1-minute gameplay trailer we got, where we saw the energy sword and the battle rifle. The textures look like significantly better because of the lighting in that 1-minute trailer than in all the demo. And I want to make this point. I know I'm kind of going on here, but we'll get to Kevin. But I want to make this point about the build, where people are like, well, why would they show an old build like this if you're trying to hype up your game? First of all, because maybe they don't have other builds ready that are running at a solid 60 frames. I know that is really important. for this game right now. 60 frames per second, locked. They're probably adding polish and stuff. That's where the last 3-4 months of development are for polish and things like this, anyways. But they probably want to get 60 frames locked on there. If you watch the trailer in 4K compared to when it was streamed, it looks a hell of a lot better on top of that as well.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. And then, it's like I said, it's probably not the one they had ready. This might have been the build that they were supposed to show at E3, which was supposed to be a couple months ago. So Aaron Greenberg came out and said, I check in weekly with 343, and I can tell you there's been progress made, and there's progress on a weekly basis made on this game, and it will look better. It is a work in progress thing. And then on top of that, the Slip Space engine, people, this is what you get when you want split screen and 60 frames per second. Split screen is a huge factor into graphical fidelity. 60
Big
frames
factor.
per second for a console is huge factor for graphical fidelity. So if you want that smooth gameplay and you want split screen, you might have to take a hit on graphics. But I fully don't expect the game to look bad. I really don't. Like the Skybox 2 looked kind of empty, and 343 has done some great Skyboxes. So I really expect that to make a jump too. So across the board, I think it will look better. I do like the art style though. I like like how the enemies look and stuff. Like the simplicity of the Elite's armor and stuff, where the colors really
so
pop.
good. They look so good.
I really do like it. So
the classic grunts coming back too. They look so good. Like I'm 100% down with all the visuals of the game. Maybe not so much with the pillars that are so prominent in this area.
The hexagonal
there's
things,
a lot of pillars. I brought this up in my first impressions video where I was talking about how maybe that's the way to reduce resources, so that they can have these big expansive environments without like bogging down your system. Because like that part where you're going up the elevator, like that's exactly a spot you would have like massive frame drops, because you have to show such a huge area being lighted. Lighting is in real time, because it seems like there's gonna be a day-night cycle with this game, meaning that like you can't have baked-in lighting, which lighting is a huge intensive resource when it comes to hardware. I mean, if anyone plays PC gaming, that turning down the ambient occlusion, you get a lot more frames. It might not look as good though. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So that's like one thing I kind of have a critique on, that there's an overusage of those pillars. Because like when we saw for like the announcement trailer, and from I think even from Discover Hope a little bit, no, not from Discover, just the announcement trailer, like had like a much more natural looking environment with like sprawling hillsides and animals and different kinds of things like that, which looked really great. Which I'm all for having the pillars in there. I think it's a cool, like, adds a cool sci-fi element to the whole thing. But I think it might have been a little overly done. Like you can tell when you're going up that elevator, it's like, God damn, they're like, how many hexagons do I need to see? So that's like my only critique. And I would also say that like I saw this in his experience video too, talking about the weapon designs for the UNSC weapons. For the new ones, at least, they look kind of standard, like human weapon kind of stuff. They like, even with like the MA40 that's based off the MA37 from Reach, that assault rifle, like that looks like a Halo sci-fi assault rifle, where like the it's VK78 Commando, I think is the name of that one, the slow firing assault rifle. That looks kind of like, people are like, it looks like a Scar H,
Yeah, kind of.
Like
I would say the pistol looks more, the pistol and the shotgun definitely look more like normal weapons. But that VK78 literally gave me, you remember Destiny 1 pretty well, I'm sure. The very first weapon you get in Destiny 1 that you pick up, the Kvostov, exactly. The recoil pattern, everything just it was just a spitting image of that for me. Which I don't mind. I mean, they're human weapons. Yeah, I know people like to see their sci-fi, but there is so many weapons that are probably going to be in this game.
Yeah, we only got like a little bit of
right, a little teeny taste.
I would be very surprised though if the Magnum does not return in Halo Infinite.
Right.
For how much
that pistol isn't the Magnum.
Yeah.
It's a sidearm or something. It's called the sidekick or something like that. It's a sidearm.
Yeah.
So
it's like the MK50 sidekick, I think it is. Yeah. And so it's not even the same series of Magnums. Like even like the Halo 2 Magnum is still that same series of Magnums within the lore name. It's like an M6D or something like that pistol or something like that. So it's not even like close to even being like named the same. So, and plus it's like I looked on I did on my weapon review video, I showed that it was like a 10mm round that it shoots. So it's going to be like a kind of good weapon in a pinch, light damage, kind of like if you run out of bullets and you need to tap a guy for like one more damage or something like that, you know? So, which Halo hasn't really had before besides the Halo 2 Magnum, but the Halo 2 Magnum is kind of
trash.
Trash, yeah. Trash.
Yeah. Trash. Which, you know, like, that's not going to stop us from enjoying that game, though. No. Like, no, you know, like, it is a criticism, and I get that. Like, there's M1911 looking like the cutouts in the gun that, you know, that look, but it's not going to stop me from enjoying the game. Like, I get people's criticism of that, but there's going to be plenty of cool weapons. The brute weapon looks absolutely cool. It's got the bayonet at the end of it, just like most brute weapons.
That Ravager is so cool. That's such a cool gun.
Really cool.
I want to shoot that gun.
the new Mauler looks pretty cool. I forgot what it was called. It was called
Mangler. Yep.
Yeah. The burst carbine, so maybe we'll actually get different variants again. Maybe we'll still get a single fire variant of the carbine. So
I would be very surprised if we don't. Yeah, because like that's been in Halo since Halo 2, and
we saw needlers. Yeah, you know that too.
And then we also, I think we saw like the classic plasma pistol come back as well, from like the original Halo series. Like I think the more modeled off of Halo 3 than the more recent ones, which is good. I like the classic.
The sword is like that original model too, like the Halo 2 model with the more rounded, which will make late night gaming super happy because he hates the angular looking sword. I actually prefer the angular looking sword. I actually like the new
swords. Like they look really sharp. They look sharp. Like I look like if I touched it, I would like cut myself like but just like slightly grazing it, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I prefer the new one of the few designs that I actually prefer on the newer games. But hey, okay, it's not like I said. I don't really care about designs of guns. I care how they feel. I care how the game plays. And I can't wait to play it. It looks like a fun ass Halo game, and it's a sandbox game. Yeah, which is what Halo is at its core. So
I think it seems like they're really laying heavy emphasis on the sandbox of Halo, which is kind of like what Bungie tried doing with the first Halo game, really, and they did a pretty good job of it. And then I think just limitations of hardware back in 2001 when that game released, much less probably 1999 when they were developing that game, that you couldn't exactly do what you can now, you know. And so this could be like the true full original vision of Halo was going to be like open world, go out, blow up all the things, basically, which is going to be awesome. I'm all in with open world Halo. I'm really looking forward to it. The one thing I did read up about that though, saying going from like a crafted like 6-8 hour campaign to an open world format is where you would see those lighting changes be really significant, because all the lighting needs to be generated, where previously with like these crafted campaigns like we did like from Halo 2 to 5, you know, you're going from A to B for each mission. And a big trick that a lot of developers do is what's called baked in lighting, which basically they texture items within the world to look like it has a shadow or some kind of lighting on it, because there's no day and night cycle within missions. So you can just like, if it's going to look, if you want a shadow to be there, we'll just texture it darker to make it look like there's a shadow, and you don't have to worry about that too much, which reduces a lot of intensity on the graphical usage of your hardware, meaning you can have a better looking game. That's why you might see a lot of these like shadows and lighting not look so great in Infinite right now, because it is an early build. Rumors saying it's been back in January when they finalized a build that they wanted to fixate on, and then also having that lighting be generated also in a brand new engine as well. So there's a lot of different variables going on with this whole thing. So that's probably why. But yeah, I do agree though that the lighting does need to improve, especially in the dark lighting. The bright lighting seems to work out really well with this engine, but the dark lighting, like we saw with the Mangler comparison side-by-side images, I'm sure a lot of us have seen. And also just like that elite that was killed when you first get off that Warhog looked really flat as well. I saw someone do a Photoshop job and they're like, oh, wow, that looks a lot better, you know. Of course, you know, making things look good in Photoshop is way different than making it look good in a game.
Exactly, yeah.
But so far, like overall, I'd say the community's reaction when you first saw the trailer was very positive. There wasn't anything that were like, oh no, we don't want that, get that out of Halo, you know, which is very good to see. Yeah, besides Sprint, but that's
some people.
I have a feeling
Yeah.
majority of people are good with sprint in Halo, and I think it's just but a significant minority, maybe like a 35% minority, which is still very significant. Probably don't
That
want
guy,
sprint.
man. I just think of that video, man.
Oh yeah, you
Don't you fucking run, you bastard!
walk, you son of a bitch! Walk! No!
Oh man.
Like I said, I'm cool with sprint in Halo. If it's Halo 5 style sprint for the multiplayer, at least. Halo 4 sprint, no.
Yeah.
Halo Reach sprint, no.
No.
Halo 5 sprint, I think they did it just right. Because
Keep that.
And then some people, and there's clamber coming back. There's sliding coming back as well.
Sliding.
Which, I mean, I only ever used sliding really when I was trying to do like boost slides in Halo 5. I never really slid that much really, because it just like slows your momentum and makes you an easier, predictable movement right there, which is exactly what you don't want in multiplayer. People say about clamber about it, replacing the crouch jump. I don't think it does. I mean, it might make it different, but it's not that it removes the skill. Like Halo 5's movement is absolutely insane. Like there's so much you could pull off, and yes, you maybe crouch jumping might not be as prominent, but there are still moments you'd rather crouch jump to some things than rather clamber them because your gun is up. As long as you kind of allow that both to be within a map at the same time, yeah, sure, bring in clamber. Why not? I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Yeah, there's plenty of skill jumps left. I mean, it does make certain jumps easier to have mantle, or clamber, but there is still a skill gap for certain jumps, especially with advanced mobility. We don't know if thrusters in Halo Infinite. We know this grapple and that the equipment, the shield that was in there is actually going to be a multiplayer, but in a different capacity, they said. So we'll just have to wait and see how that works and how people, play around with the sandbox. But
Shyway is still making movement videos on Halo 5 and still finding out new things.
Oh yeah.
Like that's how crazy.
5 years later.
Yeah, like I still feel like with Halo 5, like we got like the meat and potatoes of what the movement can do, but we didn't get all the meta spots when it comes to the movement in Halo 5. I still think there was a lot of potential, at least with the last year of competitive Halo 5 there, but sadly enough, we only had one season of that. But
what was your favorite part of the trailer, if you had to pick one moment?
Favorite part about the trailer, dude? Oh my gosh. Well, I'd still say my favorite weapon is definitely the Ravager. Super excited about that. I love Eshram already. I think he seems like an awesome villain. He doesn't seem, for some reason I wasn't getting like the whole like I hate humans because and they're aliens and I want to rule the world kind of thing, but like he had like a different kind of edge to him. It was I like the bring me your best Spartan.
Yeah.
Despair
your fire in your heart. I love that whole monologue.
Yeah, that was awesome.
He said, and die well. Like, if Chief dies,
yeah. After watching, I'm like, come at me, bro. Let's do this. You know?
That's exactly what I said in my reaction. I'm like, dude, I want to fight this man right now. Let me so I can punch him in the mouth right now.
So much more than we ever had in Halo 4 or 5 when it comes to their villains. Like this one, I am all for this one. This is gonna look amazing. It's gonna. I'm excited. I'm very excited about this.
I'm really excited.
And but so I guess maybe just favorite part of the trailer as a whole, I'd say it would probably have to be that moment when you just get off the Pelican and you go into first person with your assault rifle and you just step out into the ring for the first time. It gives you that exact same feeling you had back in Combat Evolved, getting off that drop pod on the ring
with wildlife and stuff too in there. That's cool.
Yeah, it was your first moment you stand, you're like, oh, it's one of those first jaw dropping moments you have. You're like, oh wow, this is what you're doing.
Right. Yeah.
It's and then first when you bring up that menu of the open world menu, I'm like, it blew my mind. I'm like, it's open world. It's an open world.
Yeah.
Oh man, what was your favorite part about the whole thing?
Probably the Eshram, the monologue there with him, like just especially with if I had to pick one thing though, it's the music. The music literally gave me goosebumps. I am in love with the soundtrack already, but especially during that speech that the Brute is giving, you hear the monk theme being played in the background, but with different instruments. And
It crescendos so well. It builds up the whole
so
speech,
good.
and he's getting more involved with the speech too, and it just like builds up perfectly. It's so well done.
It's so well done, dude. Like, and that's exactly how music should be, effective music, you know. And it makes you, it freaking sets that fire in your heart to freaking just want to whoop his ass. So
exactly,
I absolutely love that. Like those two parts that I mentioned, the 535 moment in the trailer where you pick up the Mangler. And you and the visor mode too. Visor mode's back. That you know,
Artemis Tracker
really
system. Cool, I think if they're if they're keeping that name, I mean, it's exactly that. Which the Artemis Tracker system would actually work really well in Halo Infinite. It was useless in Halo 5. Cycle. It was useless in Halo 5, but in Halo Infinite, it would actually work out super well.
Yeah. So the music, man, the music is so magnificent.
Perfect, magnifico,
perfect. Yes, so, which they actually announced, for people who didn't know, a second composer. So I'm getting like real Marty O'Donnell, Michael Salvatore vibes. Like, you know, we got 2 composers working on it, which really hasn't been the case for 4 or 5, right? Neither one of them had 2 composers, right?
Yeah, I think each one had one person.
Right.
I can't remember.
Janucci was 5, and Neil Davidge was Halo 4, or Neil Davidge, or whatever what the hell, however you pronounce it. But yeah. Gosh,
supposed to be a news person. You can't pronounce names correctly. Jeez, man.
Well, you don't even remember them, okay? But yes, overall, we're very, very. I would say we're optimistic for the. There's nothing that I'm pissed about where I'm like, I'm not gonna play. I'm excited to play this game. I am absolutely all aboard. Let's go.
I will say though that the criticisms are deserved, though.
Yes,
they do deserve the criticism.
The graphical criticisms are deserved. Yes.
Because like this is you showing off the game for the first time. It's supposed to be the flagship game for the console, and there are some issues with it. People rightfully have the right to be like, what the hell's going on with this? I don't know if anyone saw that awesome short video that someone made with like the part where the Arbiter meets Tartarus in Halo 2, and it's supposed to be like Halo fans arguing with each other, and then like Spark is supposed to be like 343. It's like, well, turns out it's actually a really early build that we're so, if you check out our earlier trailers, we see that it's actually, you know, the graphics have greatly improved. We're trying to make the best game we can, and we're really passionate about this project. Oh god, I saw that. It was so funny. Might have to link that in the show notes or something. It's worth watching. It's so good.
That and the sprint reaction from that dude. We need to link that too, because it's freaking hilarious.
Walk.
Dude, hitting Xperia like fell out of his chair and like threw something.
He
when
like bonked his head with come on. Yeah, he bonked his head with a ball like, oh, it's here.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay, so I think we talked about the reveal. We're both very optimistic on it. We do have our concerns, but overall we're very happy with it, and we're looking forward to seeing more in the future. Make sure you tap subscribe on our channels and follow the podcast at whatever platform you're listening on Spotify, Podbean, or on YouTube as well, because whenever anything happens, you know we're going to be talking about it. That's for sure. Talking about details with Halo Infinite, you know, you mentioned this a little bit earlier, talking about the split screen happening here with Halo Infinite. Now, there was some misinformation going around saying that it was apparently going to be a 4-player split screen, which is not exactly the truth. Jerry Hook, who is the lead design at 343, set the record straight on this one, saying, "Hey everyone, I saw reports of campaigns supporting 4-player split screen for a campaign, and just wanted to correct. Halo Infinite will be supporting 2-player split screen and 4-player online co-op campaign. Sorry for the confusion on that one." So, just need to reset the record straight on that for sure. I was kind of hoping for 4-player split screen, but obviously with the way this game is looking, I'd be very surprised if 4 players would be able to be supported.
Y'all want good graphics. Y'all better not even think about 4 players.
4-player split screen just kind of sucks. I'd rather just spend like a couple bucks and get like my own monitor or something, you know?
I'd rather spend the extra $2,000 and buy 3 other freaking systems and 3 other monitors.
Like no Halo game ever ran well with 4-player split screen.
No.
I mean, it's good that you have the ability to do it, but it's not really enjoyable. Back in the day in Halo 1, you kind of made sense to have 4-player split screen. But nowadays, especially with online play being so easy and accessible now than ever before, that I think 2-player is all you really need, I think, for a split screen. Which, obviously, 4-player would be great, but I'm cool with 2. At least it's in the game. You can split screen in the game. But yeah.
the last thing I want to mention about the split screen too, or about co-op, 4 players are all Spartans. So
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, if it could be blue team with Chief, that would be really cool. I would rather it be that than just 4 Chiefs, or you had the I know you had the sentiment of maybe doing the Reach style, having your multiplayer Spartan in there. Because you don't need the Spartans in the cutscenes.
Yeah.
So, it just needs to be Chief. One person needs to be Chief. That's it. Which would kind of, some people would be like, yeah, I want to be Chief, or some people be like, no, I want my character in there, man. Like, that would be cool. But I would love to see Blue Team make a return and actually flesh them out a little bit. And it would be really cool if they were the co-op characters and maybe have different abilities or something.
Yeah, I think the Halo 5
set them apart.
I think the Halo 5 co-op idea that they had was really cool. I just didn't think they really did it properly. Like having each one of those characters having, some specific traits to them that help them, play a little different compared to Master Chief. But that's all like, maybe, I think Kelly maybe had like a 5% boost speed in her movement or something like that.
She's really fast.
Starts with a shotgun.
The sharpshooter.
Yeah. And so like, I would like to see that amplified a bit more,
Yeah.
Where
definitely.
If you had like a tank character like George, and you had like the speed character like Kelly, and then Master Chief is just kind of like that middle ground of everything, but not doesn't excel at everything, but good at everything kind of thing. Maybe his luck stat is improved or something. I don't know.
Yeah. You have a better chance to find items because you're lucky.
Yeah, exactly. There's just like that. I mean, they did say there's gonna be hidden items within the world as well. Yep. They got that to look forward to as well. So now
speaking of, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say I had a good segue. I was about to use it.
Segue.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna segue too.
Okay, well, so speaking of split screen, so there are other ways you're going to be able to enjoy Halo Infinite that may be alternatives to split screen, and that is talking about another new platform that Halo Infinite is going to be on, and that is your cell phone or your tablet. Project xCloud. Halo Infinite will be on Project xCloud, as well as the Xbox One family of consoles, the Xbox Series X, and the other possible next-gen consoles, because according to the Microsoft Store page, or the Xbox Store page now, which they actually used to have crossplay confirmed on this store page for Halo Infinite, but now it doesn't say that. It says enjoy Halo Infinite on the Xbox One family and the new family of consoles, so plural. So the Lockhart has long been rumored. August they're supposed to be doing a hardware show, so maybe we'll actually get confirmation of that. But now Project xCloud's coming in September, free or not free, but you get it for free as an addition to your Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription. So that is pretty damn cool. Like I don't, if case say Halo Infinite features a challenge system like MCC. Where, hey, I'm at my parents' house for the weekend because my parents live about an hour from me. I go visit them. I don't have to wrap up my Xbox or anything. I just got my phone with me. I could play, do a couple challenges on the go, and get some XP for it. And I think that's really cool. So it's really cool technology. If you guys haven't tried it, I really do like Project xCloud. It blows my mind that it actually works, because it does. Yeah. It has its problems, but what you're to expect problems when streaming something instead of dedicated hardware, but it works amazingly well for freaking running on your phone. And just you could use your Xbox controller, and then in the future they'll let you don't even need an Xbox controller, but I wouldn't recommend using touchscreen controls. That is never fun for mobile gaming.
Especially for a shooter.
Especially for a shooter, but it is really cool nonetheless. So Halo Infinite is going to be on everything. Everything that Xbox is involved in.
Yeah, like I think it's gonna be great too with like the open world aspect to it, because like there is a little bit of an input delay with xCloud, because like I think you and I both got into like that beta test thing with the public beta testing that they were doing for it. There is an input delay. It's minor, like for like a casual person who doesn't really pay attention to that kind of stuff. Honestly, didn't even notice it. Like I was with my buddy, he's like, I don't notice any delay whatsoever, and I'm playing like, oh no, there's definitely a delay there, but like it's like that small of a delay though, where like some people might not even notice it.
It's like playing on a TV that doesn't have game mode versus turning on game mode. If you guys have ever done that, that's like the best comparison I can make. Like if you're a hardcore gamer, you'll notice it, but it's not terrible. You know, it's not terrible.
Like I'd played Red Dead Redemption on it for sure.
Mhm.
Like, or if you're playing like some kind of campaign game or story mode, something, maybe not like Fallen Order because that's very frame specific, but like
Right.
you know, like Grand Theft
Tale
Auto.
Innocence, I started
Sure.
on there. You know, like a narrative driven game. It's awesome for stuff like that.
So yeah, it's gonna be on the xCloud. It's gonna be on Steam as well, which is absolutely huge for the game. That's gonna be like there's no other word to describe it. It's just, that's huge to be on Steam and not forced to go into the Windows Store to buy it. Like that's gonna greatly increase the population of people playing the game on PC, especially. We're also got on the original Xboxes. Well, I mean like the Xbox One family, and also the Series, and also the Series X and the rumored Lockhart console as well. Which
something
just
else
rumors,
too to know.
but very strong rumors going around about that.
Yeah, a lot of insiders have, you know, like Windows Central. A lot of the insiders that I follow about Xbox news, they've all talked about it for a long time. So, and then on top of that, too, on the product store page for Halo Infinite, at least on the Microsoft side, not on Steam, there is actually a rating for the game. It says T for teen.
Really?
Which is slightly, slightly disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, I think also
but it doesn't make or break the game for me.
I think also rating shooters has gone down a little bit over the years as well. Like
kids are just herds nowadays.
We're so desensitized now; it's all fine. Nothing hurts us anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
But because back in the day when for the original trilogy of Halo games, that those were definitely M because you were shooting things. Those were instantly M, like right away. Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure the flood's coming back in Halo Infinite. I'd be very surprised if there's no flood in Halo Infinite.
The original reason why Halo was rated M was because of the flood. So because of the taking over their bodies and stuff, and like the reanimation that the ESRB said, no, slap the M sticker on there. So
I mean,
maybe it's just a placeholder. It doesn't mean it's staying rated T for teen. You know, we'll see.
I mean,
they've changed stuff about the product page already. So.
I mean, but then they did say PEGI 18, which is like the European rating system.
But that was for the whole conference. They do that all the time. They'll say rated. You know, that wasn't for Halo itself. So,
gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Which honestly, like a T-rated game, it depends how you tell the story too. Like, I don't want Halo to be super gory, like Gears of War style, but I also want it to feel pretty gritty.
I would love a mature Halo game where they're just dropping F-bombs
Chief's like, let's get the fuck out of here.
Funniest shit I've ever seen.
My fucking tomatoes.
My fucking tomatoes. James.
There goes our ad revenue on this video.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. No, but yeah. And also, you probably want to see like that brute's leg getting blown off that was probably running at him, huh? God,
like dismemberment would be so cool in Halo, but it doesn't ruin the game for me. It just adds to the game for me. You know, like it does. It's just like, oh my god, now I got to play a Halo. No, it's not like that. I mean, Halo 5 was rated T, and I found enjoyment out of the multiplayer for years, so it doesn't really bother me. Locke still like stabbed Jewel Madama. Spoilers for a 5-year-old game, but still stabbed Jewel Madama in the neck and stuff, and you see some blood come out. Just not overly gory, which they could still get away with some stuff.
Halo's never really been that overly gory of a game, so
no, it's never been. It never really deserved an M rating, in my opinion.
True.
And like I said, Bungie said back in the day it was because of the flood, so whatever. But still, hopefully, flood do come, especially with. Let's just talk about it real quick. Especially about Halo Infinite and platforms. Halo Infinite is supposed to be its own platform for the series. Chris Lee has said that. He wants it to be the next 10 years of Halo, which we heard that before from Bungie with Destiny, and that didn't really happen. But future stuff is supposed to be under the umbrella of Halo Infinite. And obviously 343 has probably better experience than anybody after working on MCC for so long for adding content to a game and putting it all under one umbrella. So Halo Infinite seems to be that. We could maybe get like an Awakening the Nightmare 2, like a DLC for the Flood, which would be awesome. We know future spin-offs are coming for the Slip Space engine. It makes it a lot easier to put it all under one umbrella when it's all the same engine instead of 10 different engines running at once, like MCCC or 11 or whatever it is now. So
Yeah.
it would be really cool to see, the spin-offs and the future content for Halo Infinite, but figured we'd mention
I'm
that.
kind of curious if the open world will be like connected to the internet in some way where like people can jump in and out or something, because like it'd be kind of cool if they could do like live events within the open world, like have a flood
Oh god, now
takeover
you're
for the
going Destiny.
yeah,
You're
flood like
going
what if they had
Destiny.
like a flood takeover for the entire like open world or something like that,
Right.
something crazy
Yeah,
like
that'd
that.
be such a cool event.
It
Yeah.
sounds
Like for
like
Halloween.
I mean, with the slip space engine, it sounds like they can do stuff like that.
Yeah.
From what I've heard and read, that nothing is absolute when it comes to Halo Infinite. With the way that the
Yeah.
engine has been reworked, that like they can create content, they can modify and update super quick.
Like that. Yeah.
But Halo as a platform, I think that's the perfect way to go about making Halo. You don't need to
Yep.
release a new game every 2 years, because we ran into this issue after Halo 3, really, basically, where the game, I feel like the gameplay formula was perfected, but then you had to make another game released 3 years later, and had to like add new stuff to it to justify why you need to buy this game and not just keep playing Halo 3,
Right.
and so they had to change things for the sake of changing to make it new and fresh and exciting. Where with Halo Infinite, having it as a platform for 10 years, I'm all for that.
Mhm.
I mean, Destiny still looks pretty good, even though it released back in 2014. And it's basically been a game as a platform. They just released the second game because Activision forces them to put like a new release out. They probably would have just
Yep.
continued with Destiny 1 if they could. But that's a whole nother story right there. But yeah, I think going as a games as a service, as a platform, is absolutely what Halo needs to do moving forward.
And with that point, who's to say we don't get a graphics upgrade? We're already getting
Yeah.
RTX post launch. Who says we don't get a texture pack that improves the game drastically? Who says, for the people who are worried about the Xbox One holding Infinite back, who's to say we don't get a Series X exclusive patch that, really boosts certain things about the game? So, which is all possible, and on PC as well. We'll have additional options. There's plenty of things that 343 can do to really alleviate those graphical issues, but Halo Infinite being a platform and being a game that's updated consistently, which is what they plan to do, there leaves a lot open for things like that. So I'm really not that worried about it.
Yeah, and like I've played games where they've done graphical updates for the game itself. Like I played Diablo 3 for quite a long time, and when Reaper of Souls came out, which was like the game, it was basically like the Taken King version of Diablo. They updated the graphics in that game too. Like everything looked a lot better as well. So that's another thing they could definitely add in with the ability with this new engine. They could definitely do changes, things like that. Also, changes coming in for the Xbox format as a whole. Possibly no more Xbox Live subscription.
Yep.
Do you want to go into this a little bit, Pack, since I think you're a little bit more of an expert on this topic than me right now?
Yeah, the Xbox store, there is no longer a way to buy your prepaid 12-month subscriptions. I don't even see 3-month or 6-month on there, or 1 month, anything on there anymore. We do know Xbox Live is included with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, so that is still an option. But as of right now, there's no way to extend unless there's auto pay. I'm sure you could auto pay and auto renew your Xbox Live, but everybody's thinking that the rumor is there will be no more Xbox Live subscription. And I could honestly see this happening with the way Xbox has been going more towards the PC platform and being more cooperative with really sharing everything across other devices. I could see that they've been really pro consumer, honestly. So I could totally see that getting dropped, and I welcome that. I think that would be a really good move by Microsoft, and where they don't really need the revenue from Xbox Live. Honestly, you don't need to charge people for that when you have Game Pass absolutely killing it. And if you keep cranking out these games that people want to play, especially with the future of these Xbox game studios, all their stuff coming to Game Pass on day one, that's really the only subscription they need. And you don't really need to confuse the consumer anyways with all these different subscriptions. So, um, it makes sense. It definitely makes sense. And I welcome it. I'm
And
sure you'd have to be crazy not to welcome it.
And I think a lot of people are probably talking about the price points as well, where Game Pass Ultimate is $15 a month. And I think per platform, if you want just PC or just Xbox, it's $10 a month, which would mean it that you would be paying more to play online, yes, but you'd also get the entire catalog of games for that are part of the Game Pass, which is really good, especially with the addition of Destiny now in Game Pass on top of that, with all its DLC as well. So
and with xCloud as well as part of Game Pass Ultimate. So for for an extra $5 a month, you don't have $5. God.
Oh, so and also like I think the price point of Xbox Live hasn't gone up ever. Like it's always been $60 ever since like 2002 when it released, if I remember correctly. It might have been like $49.99, but now it's $59.99 now. But from my memory, it's been $60 like my whole time playing Xbox Live. And so
from the 360 to now, from what I can remember, $60.
So I'm all for that actually, because you will be paying a little bit extra, probably about I did the math, and it's an extra $5 a month if you're doing just on a single platform. Like if you're just playing on PC or just playing on Xbox, it's an extra $5 a month. So just don't go to Starbucks at one time. You know?
Wow. only Seattle people do that every day.
Dude, Larry in Seattle.
And support local business.
Dude, there's Seattle is a local business. It's a local business here in Seattle for Starbucks, okay? No, actually, Starbucks coffee actually isn't that good. It really isn't.
Wow.
There's a lot better places in the Seattle area that serve better coffee.
Well, when I come up there, you better show me, because I actually really like Starbucks.
There's one right down the street. I'll hook you up. When it's safe to go outside and it's not a roll the dice of your life, then come over. Come on over. Maybe I won't die today. You never know.
Yeah, maybe not.
Oh gosh, that's 2020 for you though. But so I'm all for the lack of subscription. I could take a UR as well there, Pat. If it's included with Game Pass, then that's a deal. You're probably spending less money overall. Yeah. Then
it's already a deal now. Like Game Pass is already a great deal now. And
it's only getting better. With the addition of Destiny, I'm still thinking that Cyberpunk's going to be on this Game Pass. I'm still feeling that. Because
eventually, I could totally see it being on Game Pass.
The Witcher 3 I know for sure is on Game Pass. I'm not sure about 1 and 2, but
2 is, I believe. I don't think 1 is. And maybe on PC it is.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if it doesn't come to Game Pass. A little tidbit.
And Halo Infinite.
Infinite as well. Yes. Yeah. It's like it's definitely worth it if you're playing more than like 2 games. I'd say it's worth it. Yeah. If you're playing just 1 game, maybe just buy the game still. But anyway,
buy the game. Yeah.
Anyways, though, talking about Halo stuff, we have the very first ever screenshot taken of Halo back in 1999. The screenshot was taken. Exclusive content here for you guys, aka found this from Max Hoberman's Twitter, and shows right here saying Max Hoberman tweets out, this is who was the multiplayer design lead, I think, for Bungie back in the original trilogy days. Says here's a blast from the past, the first ever Halo screenshot from 1999. Joe Staten and I created this together in a rush at his desk. He knew what to put in it. I put my photography degree to work, and so it just kind of showed a cool. It's just kind of cool knowing that this is the first ever screenshot of Halo. A little different than release, right?
Just a wee bit.
Just a little different, right? And people are freaking out about the differences with Halo Infinite.
Dude, the graphics look fucking terrible in this. How could they release a game like this? Why would they show off their game like this, dude? Like, what are they thinking?
Yeah, what are they thinking, man? There's not even a tree. It's just empty fields and like flat
just
water.
Barren wasteland. Yeah.
What was it? This is cut content right here. If this is a machine gun, they didn't even make it into the game. It's like, what?
Yeah, what about that Predator-looking shoulder mount there that he's got?
Yeah. What's this? Huh? What happened to his little like head visor things? Like little, I don't know what that is, but it's a thing. No, just joking around. But I thought it was a cool little tidbit to share with you guys because it's the first ever screenshot of Halo. And obviously, if you're listening to this podcast, you probably have played Halo a couple times. he's a pretty cool guy and deserves your attention.
I want to ask you something too before we get to the end of the show. So the before the gameplay trailer for Infinite, we got the breakdown of Chief's armor, new Mjolnir armor getting made.
Mm-hmm.
What like in that trailer, the hook shot, my Zelda mind is coming.
It's
right
called
now.
a grapple shot, actually.
Yeah, which is kind of funny. The grappling hook is on his arm already in that trailer when they're making his new armor.
Mm-hmm.
But in Discover Hope, in that cutscene, unless they go back and change that cutscene, he does not have that grapple hook on his armor already. And that's supposed to be the beginning of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's very true. Yeah, it's very true. I wasn't thinking about that, actually. But I mean,
that's a content exclusive. We're gonna go make about a 20-minute video on this real quick, but I haven't heard anybody talking about that.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that either. But did we? Yeah. I mean, it's equipment though, so you can add it on. Because I was wondering too, because like with the gameplay reveal, we saw that like you have the grapple shot, and then once you picked up that drop wall, then it replaced it, and then once you dropped the drop wall, it came back with the grapple hook. So maybe it's like kind of loadout-ish kind of thing or something,
or like a permanent upgrade.
I heard that this was actually more in the middle of the game is where this takes place.
It's 4 hours in.
Yeah, which is definitely a lot can happen within gameplay within 4 hours for sure.
Right.
So there's a lot of different things that can happen right there, but I think I think it's pretty cool. I don't know what to say about that. But
I saw nobody talking about it. I'm like, dude, Discover Hope's supposed to be the beginning of the game, and in that trailer, they're making his armor that he already has on in Discover Hope. And it has the hook shot on it.
Yeah, actually, there's one thing I wanted to point out within that like armor creation reveal kind of thing. There's one thing I wanted to point out. There's someone's literally wearing a HoloLens. Yeah.
I knew you were gonna do that, Mr. Freaking Microsoft over here. I was like, I know he's gonna mention the HoloLens.
Dude, I worked on that thing for 2 years. Okay, I'm gonna notice it. I was bringing it up here in the screenshot or the image right here. Yeah, it's like literally just grab a HoloLens and just put it into the trailer. It looks super sci-fi. I'm like, do we have that right now? This is placed like 500 years in the future, and I'm wearing the same HoloLens I wore in 2014. I just thought it was funny.
It looks good. Like honestly, it looks like it fits, and I think that's a really cool Easter egg.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like one of the ideas of the initial design of the HoloLens was to make it great for like engineering kind of stuff, for like presentations and stuff. So like if you're engineering I don't know, like a plane, you can like zoom into the plane, look at this part specifically kind of stuff. So it has like developer kind of point of view when it comes to making the HoloLens. But has it even been released yet? Or have they just given up on that? Because I think they reworked it once they saw how popular VR became.
Yeah. I haven't heard anything new on HoloLens in a long time.
Yeah, that's a really cool idea, but just like where is it?
Right.
Yeah. They released a developer build of the HoloLens like back in 2016, I want to say. It was released to developers at least.
Yeah.
But still, we don't have anything for it.
No.
I wonder if it's just been like a 10 years waste of time for the HoloLens. It's a cool feature.
Probably.
I mean, they had Minecraft integration on it. I played around with it. It had some really cool features. I played a lot of games with it.
The Halo demo too on the HoloLens, which is cool.
Yeah, so I remember. Actually, I worked with that guy who showed that. I was like, Varun, did you know that you were like you made Halo news? He's like, what? Yeah, it was funny. Like I remember doing like there was one really funny moment that happened where I was able to bring the HoloLens home for me because we were doing like in-home testing with it. And so I brought the HoloLens with me to kind of test out my environment of my apartment complex and gather some more data right there, because they just need as much data as possible because it's augmented reality. You need as many variables as you can find. And so there was one time like I played around with the HoloLens so much while working on that team that like there was one point where I had the HoloLens, like exclusive hardware that no one else can get to unless you work at Microsoft. And then there was Halo 5 released like a couple weeks before that. And so I was like, I'm just gonna go play Halo 5. It's because one of those things, like, I had such an exclusive little piece of content I could mess around with, but like I already experienced everything it had to experience. But then there was Halo 5 was still a new game.
Right. I would choose Halo too. Yeah. I don't blame you.
There was a really cool like environment kind of experience kind of thing where like you could like check out the Coliseum. It would place you in the Coliseum, like, and this is what it looked like back in the day. And then like it filled up like the arena like made it look like you were there in the Coliseum during like a gladiator fight, basically. And the graphics weren't exactly like cutting edge, but they still looked good. It made me feel like I was in the Coliseum back in like high times of Rome. It was really cool. Yeah. So there's a lot of different things they can do with that. It's a lot of potential that's being wasted, I feel, not having it out to the public. But maybe they're just saving it to 2560 is when the Halo Infinite takes place. So that's when they'll finally see the release. Obviously, like they preluded it right to the armor reveal.
That's the release date. That's the release date.
127 days before they lost.
Time to go make that video. I'll be right back.
Oh yeah, but I think that kind of wraps up the show for us, guys, for this episode. It's a long one. Of course, we had a lot of content to go over. I appreciate everyone in the Twitch chat coming by and hanging out. We do a little post Q&A as well. If you have some questions you want to ask us about Halo Infinite or just gaming in general, or how Pat's kiddie pool is working out for him right now at the moment or something. And
I wish I was in there.
And so yeah, catch us on YouTube, Spotify, Podbean. That's where you can find us all. Check out the links in the description for all the news and information links. I put those all in the descriptions as well if you want to read that for yourself. And Pat, where can people find you on the internet?
At the Patman Gaming on the internet, or typing me in to YouTube, just Patman Gaming. If you guys want to go subscribe to me there, we're almost to 3,000, which is my end of year goal. Do it.
Do it now. Subscribe. Do now.
Do what Arnold said. And then besides that, there's really no other place to find Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube. Those are my big four. What about you, Kevin? Where can people find you and your content?
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter. All that gets up. Our Twitter handles are on the video right here down below as well. I'm at KevinKoolx Halo. It's all or nothing with me, baby. And YouTube and all that good stuff. You can check out our individual contents. We've been uploading a ton on our personal channel, so definitely want to check out if you want to make sure you stay up to date with all the Halo information. There's some parts I miss, Pat picks up. There's some parts I do, Pat may not do. So you want to subscribe to both of us to get the entire context of all the amazing Halo Infinite information packed into one. There's so much to dissect.
We complete each other.
Exactly. Yes. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Greatly appreciate it. And we'll catch you next week with some more Halo awesomeness. Peace out.